message in 17 minutes. I can reply no more, my head's not in it. Don't mean to shut you down, but I'ma put down this phone. So patiently, I'm listening. I know that you've been up waiting for me. Alright, I'll tell you. Before you go lay down, unlock the door. As soon as I get home, I'll be all
in the face. We taking off like we in a spaceship. You are now experiencing greatness. 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 Yeah, you are now experiencing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let it rock. Come out. Come out. Let it rock. Yeah. 1, 2, this the show shot. So high, keep it cracking like it's the dope spot. Fuck the evil corporation, it's Mr. Robot. Type music got him moving, now this is the show shot. To lose your constitution, get loose as a wet noodle. Got him dancing on the Lancey, as fancy as pet poodles. Got him downtown swinging like dance, a little fame. Send my enemies back to the essence from which you came. What inspired you? What is it you trying to do? Somebody told you you should probably give it up, they lied to you. Never aspire to the average or the mediocre. Let the greatness inside of you take over. Stockbroker or an activist, a soldier or a pacifist. Life a chain reaction, you a link or you a catalyst. Walk in the house of God, your house of cards starts collapsing. Fashion killer higher than Phyllis and Ass. Fuck title, you provoking a reaction? Are you slow or are you fast, man? Are you smoking or you passing? You wishing or you hoping? Are you open for some action? As serious as heart attacks, man? Am I joking? Am I laughing? No. If you see me crack a smile and I got paid tonight, I'm with my air like some mama made a plate of rice. They say you need to dumb it down like that's some great advice. Nah, I'm way too busy showing them what greatness like. Everywhere I go, I get a standing ovation. Speaking the codes, my game got no imitation. It's in the face. You are now experiencing greatness. 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 Yeah, you are now experiencing. I'm prepared for the greatness. Spit a flow that'll strip your soul bare and naked. I ain't scared to say shit. Yeah, God is the greatest, no joke. I have my foes going through spiritual anguish, cause I'm clearly his favorite. Never here for the fake shows, staring at these so-called gangsters. The OGs do nothing to play with. This is much more than entertainment. Still hit on my Marla, walk through the hood, so my name is my name.
Oh, I can never get enough from you. Guess I'm addicted to you. Oh, I can never get enough from you. Guess I'm addicted to you.
with feet on my chest. But the dreams I have, they stay alive. Cause you know it's ride or die. I've been dreaming, maybe I'm sleeping. Losing my teeth, maybe I'm flying for no reason. I've been dreaming, what I believe in. I will get there soon, that's more than just a feeling. Yeah, I've been dreaming. I've been dreaming, maybe I'm sleeping.
I don't know how to fucking draw shoes. At least not right now. Fuck. Mostly just having trouble with her body in general. I don't know why. I think it's because I had so much focus on the wings for the past, like, week. Goodbye, Shy Guy. weird input. I don't know why the music keeps fucking dying. Fellas, I'm not gonna lie, I suddenly just started thinking about this sandwich from Arby's that Mox had me try yesterday. I started salivating and I went, oh no. I think I might order one on stream. It's a good fucking sandwich. Like a chicken BLT or something. Big stretch. I'm ordering that sandwich. I don't care. I'm fucking... I'm... Hunger. Capitalism. Sorry, I don't know. I don't remember opening this Google tab. That might explain why I was having some issues earlier. Motherfucker. I don't know what sandwich it is, because I just went to chicken and I'm not seeing it. Is it chicken, bacon, and Swiss? I don't know. Should I just message Mox? Hope he responds. He might not respond because he's currently on shift at his day job. I'm pretty sure that this chicken, bacon, and Swiss is it, because I'm not seeing like anything else. I never really get Arby's, if I'm being honest. I usually just, Sorry, I got distracted by the roast beef sandwiches and how it's literally just meat on a bun, and there are 3 pictures of just more meat. Different fucking tiers. It's like, there's the classic, the double, and the half. I should just, hang on. It's fucking... It's that, and then more, and then, fuck. Ridiculous amounts. They got the meats. It's in the name. I don't think I want to get fries though. They do have good curly fries, but I don't think I want them. However, there's mozzarella sticks. It's like $1 per mozzarella stick because it's like 6 piece for $6. It's, yeah. Take some mozzarella sticks. Ow. Just fucking punch the desk. This is quality content. It's just me sitting here going like, man, food. Oh yeah, they have gyros now, or gyros, or gyros, or heroes, or what? I don't know. I don't think there's anything else I would want. So it's just sandwich and mozzarella sticks. guess that's it. Potato cakes? Oh, are they just like hash browns? Yeah. It's a shame, because usually I order food for, like, myself and, either Mox or Shy Guy, but neither of them are home. Like, Shy Guy just left to go to a family thing, and Mox is at work, so I'm ordering food just for me, and I'm just like, I don't want a lot. Could get more mozzarella sticks. Am I willing to eat 12 mozzarella sticks? That's a stupid question. Yeah, it's all good. $10 coupons found with honey. Not sponsored. That's more than usually what pops up for DoorDash orders. I'm never lucky with honey. Anytime I use it, it's just like, nope, sorry, you can't, no coupon. Every time I've used honey, I have not saved a single fucking cent. A gift card? No, I don't want to buy a gift card. Fucking honey found a way for you to save $1 with a gift card. I was like, but I don't want a gift card. I don't know how the fuck a digital gift card would work. Fucking, okay, thanks for the pop-up saying that the gift card checkout is unavailable. Fuck off, I didn't want one. Alright, and that'll be showing up in like an hour. Cool. Now I'm motivated. Should have gone to a BRB screen while I was doing that instead of just fucking sitting on the Medibang, but no. Listen, I never said I was a professional. Cut to every single joke I make where I say we're professionals. Music's really loud. Also, I think I was having connection issues earlier because someone else was also on the internet, which I don't know why that would cause problems. I haven't experienced problems before where it's like literally all three of us are using the internet at once, and I've streamed and I'm not fucking and like, not having my stream just fucking lose connection and die. It's just been a recent problem. I don't understand why. I think Howl's just being a bitch. Like, this feels like it's computer error, because our internet is fine. It works great. And we can all be doing our own thing without any issue. So I think it might be a computer issue. And Hal's been giving me, like, some problems lately, being a little shit. But, I do have good news. I did order a PC, last night? I think I ordered it last night, and it should be arriving by next week. So by next art stream, I should, have a new computer. And I may be able to do more game streams and stuff, because, you know, I'm gonna have it's gonna be a gaming computer, of course. I'll be able to do a lot more stuff, hopefully. Like, I don't know really jack shit about computers. I asked, like, a few people who know much more than I do about computers. I was just like, hey, is this one gonna be a good one? And they're like, yeah, that should be good for what you need. And it's like, cool. Cause, and it's a pre-build because I'm too smooth-brained to make to put a computer together. I don't care what you say of just, like, putting Legos together. You don't understand how stupid I am. Like, I put my computer chair together, and I'm very certain I did something wrong, because immediately, like, the day of, after using it, part of the back like just falls forward, and that's bad. Not to mention it also has problems with, like, leaning back. I say as I try to lean back to example it, and it doesn't. But, like, you don't understand. I'm also the same fucking dumbass idiot who ate OxyClean. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, check out my webcomic with the link right up there, tapas.io. Series /sold out. I haven't updated it since last fucking April, but that's because I've been working on art for myself, and that one commission took too fucking long. Instead of doing comic stuff. I do have a few comics in the works, but I've kind of just been doubting, like, how good those ideas are for comics. Like, there's one that's good, and it's one that it's an idea I didn't come up with. It's one I'm stealing from Shy Guy. Yeah, no, I have a couple, and it's mainly of just, like, I hit a point where it's just like, alright, I'm out of, like, ideas just in my head for comic stuff. Let me check the goddamn notes on my phone to, like, get comic ideas for, and I scrolled through it, and I scrolled all the way to the bottom, and it was probably, like, a good few pages of, like, notes for comic ideas, and I'm like, wow, these all fucking suck. These aren't funny. They're just, like, a lot of them have to do with me interacting with customers at my day job, which is, a Taco Bell. And boy, are Taco Bell customers kind of real dumb. Like, that just comes with the territory of customer service, but, like, this has probably been the only job where the customers have been especially fucking stupid, like, almost brain dead. Like, I'm pretty sure, though, that just comes with, like, the current day. Everyone's infested with brain worms and brain rot, and shit's fucked. And I'm just trying to draw my D&D characters. Please, I just want to play D&D. Please, I don't care about politics. I just want to play D&D. I think this is the most I've ever actually talked during a stream by myself. And I think it might have to do with the fact that I'm completely alone in the house. I don't know why. I just get very... I have very bad brain goblins when it comes to talking to myself if someone else exists in my proximity. Oh, I was watching Attack on Titan earlier, like literally just before the stream, and then I looked at the time and went, ah shit, I gotta fucking stream. I'm watching season 3, I'm on the last couple episodes, and holy fucking shit. I was so goddamn scared for my actual favorite character. Like, I was straight up about to start fucking crying. I don't want to say who my favorite character is, because spoilers and such, and man, has the internet been fucking rabid about spoiling the goddamn show with memes and shit, and like, I just have to keep, like, forcing myself to just, like, forget the spoilers while I'm watching, which isn't too hard, because it seems like the spoilers are manga spoilers, and they're not going to be out until, you know, the final season. But that final season's coming out in, like, a couple months at most, I think. So... But, you know, Attack on Titan got really good. I fell off the horse for it, because I watched the first season, like, as it came out, like, you know, the episodes every week, and I really liked it. I really liked it then. I still really like it now. I think it's still a very solid season. Completely different story from what it is now, though. Like, real shit. But it definitely, like, it had that hype, and I was watching it when I was still in fucking high school, which is, like, wild to think about that it's been around that long. And me and all my friends were super into it. I was taking a drama class where it wasn't, like, the actual acting class, but it was, like, the set building stuff and costume making and shit. And we had a assignment where it's just like, hey, here's a bunch of, like, leftover fabrics and shit. Make a costume. Make just a costume. It's not anything for specific. It's not anything for, like, a school performance or anything. Just make one. Learn some sewing techniques, basically. And I was just like, oh, fuck yeah, dude. I'm gonna goddamn make the goddamn scout uniform from Attack on Titan. And I did. I made most of it. I didn't finish the emblem on, like, the cloak. But I still have that fucking, like, green hooded cloak. And it fits a bit awkwardly because I fucked up the hood, the pattern for the hood, but... And I have the sewn emblem somewhere, and I made it out of a bunch of, like, old sweatpants, and the green fabric was from, like, the big mountain of scrap fabrics from the class. And I think the emblem turned out okay. It definitely could have been better, because what I did is, like, I cut out each of the individual, like, little feathers that go for the scout, the scout symbol, and they were fraying, and, you know, I didn't want to deal with, like, the feathers themselves, because they were, like, smaller pieces just completely falling apart. So I took a lighter and, like, melted the ends together, because the fabrics I cut them from were polyester, which is just plastic, basically, and melted them together. But I melted some of them a little too much, so some of them have, like, big chunky beads, plastic, and others are, you know, fine. And then, you know, turns out, like, that part never even got finished in time for, like, the due date for the project. I guess that's just a fucking curse I've had my whole goddamn life, is I can never finish projects on time. Like, I can't finish it at a fucking deadline. Deadlines certainly, like, set a fire under my ass and they help, but I will never actually achieve them. I'm just too fucking slow, man. I'm too slow at making shit. Which is a damn shame, because, like, there's a lot of shit I want to make, and, like, a lot of shit I don't necessarily need to be, like, 100% perfect. Like this shit. Like, this wasn't intended to be, like, this big of a fucking art piece. I just wanted it to be, like, a full body for this stupid bitch, for UV. And then it turned into, I'm like, oh yeah, fuck, I'm gonna have to design her fucking wings, and I fucking design the wings, and then I fucking, oh well, I gotta fucking figure out what her costume looks like, because I have no fucking idea. Fucking, like, for the, like, 2.5 years that I've actually had this character, and I've been playing this character, granted the campaign has been very on and off, like, few and far between for the sessions and shit, I've had this character for a couple years. And it wasn't until, like, last week that I'd actually managed to fucking draw her. Or not even last week, but, like, a couple weeks ago, I'd actually managed to fucking draw her. Because, for some reason, she just had, like, I could not, like, mentally picture her in my head at all. Like, there was nothing there. It's just like, yeah, it's Vermillion, she's fucking, she had brown hair, that's it. That's all I ever had, was she had brown hair and is girl. But now I actually can have, like, a mental picture of her. And I'm sure that, like, if we were to play more of the campaign, it would get more solidified. And there was, like, sort of a vague mental picture of, like, her costume and stuff. So it's probably going to be getting a lot of changes as I'm actually, like, you know, making it. Where it's purple and white, like, main color being white, and then purple for, like, the secondary color. And then I don't know what an accent color is for her. I'm pretty sure she would have one. Might just be, like, a lighter purple or something. But, yeah, no, at one point, there was, like, some game, like a superhero game, I don't know what it was. Like, me and Mox and Chuck, when we all were, like, looking at it and stuff, and I made UV in it, and it, like, gave a good idea of what she looked like, and I actually I really liked how it turned out and stuff. And then we lost that data, and it was just fucking gone, and I'm just like, oh shit. And I guess when we lost the actual, like, data from that game, my brain just decided to go, alright, data lost, we'll delete it in here too, fucking boop. And I'm like, oh god, what does she look like? However, thankfully at some point, I have this app on my phone called OC Editor, and it just has a bunch of nonsense details about my characters that I put in there. Just so I have somewhere to keep it for all of them. And very recently I got a toy house, because I got a toy house code from an online friend. Thank you very much. It was very nice. And I'm trying to figure that out. I'm probably going to end up, like, piecing together all of the fucking different notes and shit I have of my characters and just shoving it into the toy house stuff, because toy house has been around for a long time and it's very solid. What's the status of my food? Oh, the driver's on their way to me. Why are they all the way over there? Said they already picked up the food. Why did they drive away from my home? Oh, I didn't. Whatever. hopefully I don't get a similar situation to what happened to Shy Guy the other day. Like, I don't know why, but for some reason that's just been happening, and like I've been seeing a lot of memes cropping about that shit lately of just people working for, I think it was DoorDash specifically, because no one wants to use fucking Grubhub. Where it's just like, hey, I'm hungry, I'm taking your food, fuck you, bye. And it's just like, what the fuck? And then for Shy Guy the other day, he didn't get like a message or anything, but it was just like 2 hours after he ordered his food and it hadn't shown up, and I'm just like, dude, I think your food might have gotten stolen, or they just like took the order, or they accepted the order and then rejected it, and you're just not getting it. I was very upset. I don't know, now I'm just suddenly thinking of the fucking, some of those fucking I eat your food DoorDash memes, where it's literally just like, you're getting a text message is related to a DoorDash order, and it's like, hello, I eat your food, and, the customer is just like, what? And then the DoorDash fucking driver sent a picture of, like, a bite taken out of a chicken tender, and he's just like, I take a bite, smiley face. And I think about that sometimes, and I'm just like, fuck, dude, I don't know how to even respond to that shit. I'd be pissed, but I don't think I'd respond. Cause, like, I know with Shy Guy, he reported, and he used, Grubhub. He didn't use DoorDash at the time, because he was ordering Zips, and that's only available on Grubhub. But yeah, he reported saying that, like, hey, I didn't get any of my food, it's been 2 hours, and Grubhub was just like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, here's a refund for the food. You don't get a refund for the tip or the delivery fee. We're just gonna keep that, put that in our pocket, and it's fucking the driver that, like, didn't ever fucking pick up the shit got the fucking thing. And then, she's just basically get fucked. It's like, what? No. And use that credit to get himself some Taco Bell. Because fucking, well, it's, you don't get the refund back, you just get, like, credit with the service. And while it's like, at one point I understand that that'd be a lot easier to deal with than, like, giving someone a refund, but if the customer is gonna demand a fucking refund, you better give them the fucking refund. Like, I work in customer service. I work in customer service. If they demand the refund, you gotta give it to them. It's their money. So, most of the time, you know, if you just offer a customer, like, to remake their food or whatever, they usually take it. And that's just my experience with Taco Bell. Like, that is actually, like, the standard of what we're supposed to do, is just, like, if a customer has a problem with, like, the food they got, you just offer to remake it entirely for them, no charge, no nothing. Like, and it's really not that big of a deal. Like, if your 5-layer burrito didn't have sour cream on it or whatever, man. It's a 5-layer burrito. I'll just make that. It's fine. Doesn't matter. I make hundreds of those a day. Whatever. And most people don't really, like, modify their food either. They usually like the stuff, like, as it is, as it comes, and standard. So there's usually no problems. It's like, well, the training did say, don't be a robot. You kind of have to be a robot when putting the food together, so that way, you know, it's the same proportions and all that. I don't know why I'm talking about Taco Bell. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just drawing big laser feathers. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break, even though I've been streaming for nearly 2 hours. Fuck. I'm gonna take a bit of a break when that Arby's order gets here, so I can eat. And I don't want to eat on stream. Why are they farther away again? What are they doing? Bring the food. No, I didn't make changes, honey. Fuck off. They're just, what? They're like, where are you right now? Where is that? Well, Bill, where are you sitting? It's expected to arrive at 5:10. Okay, whatever, man. I mean, they might just be, like, picking up a different order somewhere else, probably, but I don't know. I don't know, I just found it concerning that I saw them, like, heading towards my direction, and then I went to check again, and they're further away. And it already said they picked up my food. I don't know, man. I should probably just give UV some sneakers and not like these boots right here. Cause she kind of just, she wears her her hero costume under her street clothes. And I'm pretty sure she doesn't wear like, I don't think she would wear anything that's like fancier than sneakers, honestly. Her civilian clothes are like extremely casual and a little loose. Her costume is not necessarily a morph suit, but like very form-fitting. Probably made out of the same material as the morph suit, not like just the stretchy fabric. That's a question I've never asked myself, actually, is like, where did she get her costume? It's like, she probably made it herself, honestly. I don't know how long I'm gonna stream for today, actually. I know I'm gonna have to stop by 8 at the latest, because we're gonna be doing some Cyberpunk 2020 tabletop stuff. More test sessions, like figuring out how the system works, because we still don't have like a full grasp of it. I need to figure out if I want to sell my soul to a corporation or not. Because my character needs money really bad. And he has no combat skills really, or ways to protect himself. So getting him some cybernetics would be a good idea. And the selling your soul to a corporation thing it just gives you 10,000 bucks in cybernetics. Like, it doesn't give you just $10,000 just to have, it's specifically for cybernetics. Which kind of sucks, but, you know, does create a limit for the player. So that way it's not just like, oh, you just get a bonus $10,000 for whatever the fuck you want. And my character, Edge, who, if I'm being honest, like, this cyberpunk character, Edge, is the reason why I even, like, got on the horse to finally draw Vermillion. I don't really want him to have a lot of cybernetics. Like, both as a player, I don't want to have a character that has low humanity, even though I understand, like, the setting and the point of cyberpunk, yada yada. I don't care. I don't want a character with low humanity, and I don't want a character with a lot of cybernetics. Well, I can admit, aesthetically, a lot of cybernetics, cool as fuck. Like, damn, that's some rad shit. I don't want my character to be basically robot, though. Like, I don't want to play that. So he has a Neuralink, which is like just like, he can basically access a computer with devices that are built into him. He can also access things like smart weapons and smart vehicles and shit. Oh god, why am I going? And then he has a cybernetic eye. Let's see. Yeah, he has NeuralWare, which is just the basic thing. A cyber modem link, which lets him actually, like, link to the computer. And then cyber optic, which is a cybernetic eye. And it's just the basic thing, it doesn't have anything else on it. Because in the backstory that I rolled up for him, like, in one of the life event things, he made an enemy with a government official, and what she did is she fucking took his eye out, stabbed his eye out basically, and he had to get a replacement for that. Did the music fucking stop again? No, it's just quiet. Okay, cool. But yeah, she took his eye out, and he got it replaced, and that immediately, like, it took away 10 humanity points from him, which at most you can have 100, and when you lose 10, you lose a point in a stat, which the stat is empathy, and I gave him a 10 in that because I wanted him to have a really high empathy, but he immediately, like, got bunted down to a fucking 9. He's got 88 humanity currently because the other two things cost 1 each. But yeah. This character's name is Edge, which makes things really funny, honestly, because what a player character's title, quote unquote, is we're called Edge Runners. That's not like a team name or anything. It's literally just what a Cyberpunk 2020 player is called, as an Edge Runner. And it's just like, that's your name, bud. Edge is an interesting character. I really like him. His name is Edge because I was literally trying to make an edgelord to prove to my at the time DM that my current character was not an edgelord. Lo and behold, I fully embrace that he's a fucking edgelord now, and that character was Tomb. Which, I don't know if I've ever shown anybody him. I don't really have any ready art for what he looks like, but it's this guy. This guy right here. This fucking loser. That fucking dork. I love him. He's one of my top favorite D&D characters I have. But yeah, no, my DM was just like, he's real edgy, even though, in my opinion, at the time, in the campaign he was in, the character himself, I don't think was very edgy at all. He was a very cheerful, goofy kind of guy, until, tragedy fucking happened, which, in my defense, I did not do. It just fucking happened, because the campaign ended, but the character stayed alive. And he lost literally everything, so now he's edgy. Now he's super edgy. Can't fucking stop it. But at the time, I didn't think he was edgy. I genuinely still don't think he was edgy, at the time when the DM was telling me, Tomb's real fucking edgy, he's an edgelord, and I'm just like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, he had edgy powers, I guess, but the character himself? No, he was goofy. He just wanted to have fun. He just wanted to enjoy living and, you know, being alive and shit. And I don't think that's edgy. Cause, like, at the time he did have the power of, like, respawning and shit. And he had cool arm blades. I don't think that necessarily made him edgy. I just think that meant he had cool arm blades. But yeah, and I made Edge as an attempt to prove that Tomb wasn't edgy. And kind of failed, because I didn't really care to use him. It was a campaign where it was just like, yeah, you have two characters and you can choose which one you want to use for missions and stuff. And, well, the DM was very bad. I had more to say on that sentence, but I think it's fine to just leave it at that. But the DM didn't really, like, implement that very well. So we just ended up using, like, the first characters we made instead of the secondary ones ever. And Edge just kind of was just mopey. He wasn't really edgy. He was just a mopey emo kind of guy. And I didn't really care for him. The other players didn't really care for him because he wasn't really bringing anything to the table. And then later on, this same DM was trying to do a Soul Eater campaign. And he was just like, alright, you're gonna make two characters. One that's your, the fucking... Why am I forgetting what they're called? The one that turns into the weapon and then the actual, like, Reaper person. And I decided I'm gonna use Edge for this, because I wanted, you know, do that character some justice, because I, for some reason, as a player, am a little adverse to just making new characters on the spot. I'm not very good at it. It takes me a long time to make characters. And more often than not, I will just recycle old characters instead of just making a new one. Because all the characters I make, in some way, shape, or form, even if I don't like them initially, I still get very attached to them and don't like to just leave them in the fucking dust and basically abandon them. The same goes for, like, kind of any OC I've ever made. It's why my first OCs I ever made, which were from a novel series that I adapted into my D&D campaign. That's why I kept them as NPCs in the campaign, because I just don't want to let go of them, mainly. Like, that's the main fucking reason of why these characters are sort of just shoehorned into the campaign. They still fit, mind you, but they're definitely just, like, kind of shoehorned in and I'm still trying to figure out how to make them fit a little better, but I just refuse to let go of them, because I like my characters. I treat them very special. I say, as I torment them with their backstories, and make them just incredibly tragic. God, I love tragedy. Okay, I'm not crazy. But yeah, the back of the wings? Yeah, the back of the wings is kind of the thing. But yeah, I would rather recycle an old character that's no longer in use instead of just make a new character. Mainly because it also helps keep the little filing cabinet in my head of all my characters like more in order, you know? So I recycled Edge and a different older character that hadn't seen much of any use for a very long time, and her name was Rebecca. She was from the first iteration of a Persona-like campaign that Mox was running, and he really doesn't like that campaign. We like to make jokes about it because it only had 2 sessions before it got dropped, but we had some real solid laughs, mainly at my character's expense, because her nickname was Tumblr Girl, because I didn't know anything about it. My goal with her was just to make a really annoying teenage girl who was like a super Hulakian and like didn't fully use their fucking brain and just did stupid shit, like acting like the shows they were obsessed with were real and that kind of nonsense. And I got a PM. Order delivered. Hoo-hoo. Did they knock on the door? Hang on. Hey, yo, the pizza here. Alright, well, I guess I'll take a break in a minute. Chimpkin Barbagar, thank you, Mox. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah, Rebecca. Yeah, she was just meant to be kind of an annoying character that would get better. I didn't really have like an overarching plan for her, mainly because the campaign was only 2 sessions and I was only there for the first one. And if I start a new character, they are very loose and very barren and don't really have a lot going on until I get to thinking about them for a while. But yeah, so this girl, Rebecca, was technically a proto-Vermillion. I ended up changing her name because I didn't like the name Rebecca anymore. Not for any reason, I just didn't like it. I thought it wasn't very interesting of a name. So I made Vermillion. Though, I think in the Soul Eater campaign, I think she was still Rebecca. Pretty sure she was still Rebecca. That or like something else, but it was basically like that character. She no longer was like an annoying fandom girl, because I looked at that and I just went, no, I don't want to. No, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to fucking. I don't want to annoy my fellow players, and I don't want to annoy myself. So, She was no longer Phantom Girl, and didn't really get a lot of development for her, but Edge got a lot more development with the Soul Eater campaign. They were basically meant to be not necessarily foils to each other, but definitely were opposing personality types. Rebecca was going to be like much more cheerful and more happy and like more pleasant to deal with and more outgoing, and Edge was just more quiet and aloof, harder to get to know, etc. But one thing that was solid between them is that they both genuinely really cared about each other, and I was trying to figure out stuff in their backstory, just like, alright, what's going to make these two characters, like, what made these two characters really care about each other like this? And I never really figured it out, because before the Soul Eater campaign even, like, took off, I'm just going to switch to this for now, but before the Soul Eater campaign even really took off, it died. The DM, like, stopped showing interest and was just like, it's whatever. And we're like, okay, cool, dude, thanks. So, now I had these two characters that didn't really have a campaign or anything. And I think it was like a year later is when Mox found the M&M system and was just like, hey guys, look, it's a superhero system. This is really cool. And Mox likes superheroes. You guys are vaguely interested in superheroes. Let's try to figure out this system. It's very similar to actually the Cyberpunk shit. The Cyberpunk tabletop system, which is like, hey, this is neat. You guys think this is neat too, right? He's like, yeah, we think it's neat. Cool, let's really figure out how this works. Make a campaign. And that's how the M&M system got into our lives. I don't even know how Mox found it. Doesn't really matter, but sorry, my brain is processing right now. But yeah, and the campaign itself is just called M&M because we didn't really figure out a title for this campaign, so it's just called M&M. I just spilled water all over myself. And I decided to take Rebecca from that Soul Eater campaign and made her a superhero and changed her name to Vermillion because I thought that was a more interesting name. Gave her an enemy of her twin brother, who was not Edge, but I have found recently, as I've been trying to sketch him and figure out what he looks like, he looks similar to Edge. His name is Indigo, and they're basically just meant to be sort of a Dante and Virgil kind of, like that kind of a relationship, where they're twin siblings, but they are nemesis to each other. Vermillion wants to be a hero. They have similar power sets of magic, lasers, and wings and shit. Indigo has much more shit going on that I don't fully know about. But Vermillion's whole thing is she wanted to be a hero because her brother was kind of evil during their childhood. They grew up in an orphanage. Her earliest memories were in this orphanage with him, and like her first memory is she doesn't know why or the context is she's just crying on the steps to this orphanage while her brother is trying to comfort her. That's the earliest memory she has. And as they get closer to puberty, Indigo starts developing his powers before Vermillion does. And basically gets an inflated ego about it. He believes he is better than other people they're better than other people for having these powers, and that their power should be respected and such. he basically is like on a constant power trip because this campaign takes place in a setting where superheroes haven't existed and they're kind of just starting to crop up. Like, we're the first generation of heroes, basically. I don't know where else I'm going with this conversation. But yeah, I did later on, like very, very recently, put Edge in this world as a character from Vermillion and Indigo's background, where he was like one of the very few genuine friends for the two of them, mainly Vermillion. And he gets killed by Indigo, and that is where Indigo gets one of his first sin tattoos, which are these marks that magically show up on him or Vermillion when they basically commit sins or atrocities, basically if they do something real fucking bad and get bad karma, essentially. And Indigo is just covered, like, head to toe in these tattoos, and Vermillion has 2, and she got those somewhat recently. Like, I think in campaign it's been a couple weeks or a month since she got her first one, and she got her second one I think in the last session of the campaign, and I did talk about this like at length with Mox last week. So if you're here for that, then you probably already know everything I'm talking about, and I'm just spouting nonsense. But yeah, the reason I was talking about all that was to get to talking about, like, Edge and recycling characters and all that. So, for the longest time, Edge just existed as, like, the Soul Eater weapon with no master anymore. Until Mox, discovered the Cyberpunk 2020 tabletop system and was just like, hey, look at this, make a campaign. And we're like, okay, that sounds cool. And at first I was going to remake Tomb for that system and realized I really don't want to do that. Mainly because what makes Tomb for me is 3 factors that none of which can really be met by making him in the Cyberpunk campaign. And it has nothing to do with the actual, like, setting itself or anything. Like, he would fit perfectly in a Cyberpunk setting or a Shadowrun setting. Like that's probably, like, the kind of campaign where he fucking belongs. But, Tomb as a character, what's necessary for him to be Tomb for me, and not, like, a character that's just also called Tomb and looks like him, is his respawn mechanic, which, when he is killed, he basically respawns where no one can see him, and he doesn't have any equipment on him. It's basically like a Minecraft respawn. And he basically just has a new body now that comes out of fucking nowhere. The second thing is meta knowledge. He knows he is in a tabletop game. He knows everything is a game. He gets a vague feeling of who the players are that the characters belong to. Like, for example, Chalk's character, Charlotte, in the current campaign that Tomb is in. He gets a vague feeling that Chalk is the player behind that character, and he also gets a vague feeling that Chalk's other character, Momo, is also his player. So he kind of just, it's not necessarily he knows, but he gets a sort of a gut feeling for that sort of thing. And knowing that, like, it's all a game, and basically being able to tell the difference between a, like, spot the anime character sort of thing, where it's like seeing a player character compared to the multitude of faces in a crowd. And then the third thing is Tomb's backstory, which is just consistent of from when he was in the DLC campaign, which was like a sci-fi campaign, and that campaign died. But rather than it just being like, okay, that campaign no longer exists, improv over or whatever, rather than that, I ran with that and basically had Tomb escaping out of the universe that campaign took place in, where he escaped into the void and made his way into this new campaign setting, which is basically like a whole other universe. And like those three things are really the main things about him. Like the current character he is now is a result of all of those events that happened with his backstory and like the campaign, everything that's happened between DLC and the current campaign he's in and all that shit. And it's just not something I was willing to let go for Cyberpunk, so I said, nah, no, never mind. I'm going to make someone else. And at first I thought I was going to make someone new, and was trying to figure out, like, what kind of character I was wanting to play. And then what came to mind at some point later on is just like, well, why don't I just take Edge and make Edge, like, remake him, like, do him some justice. Because, like, up until now, he hadn't really gotten anything in forms of, like, being made into a character. And now he's in the cyberpunk setting. He is a net runner, so he logs into the internet. And basically his, like, assuming you don't know what a net runner is in this system, a net runner is basically a hacker, except the net is like fucking, like, I want to describe it as like a Ready Player One or a Sword Art Online kind of deal, where it's like you have your body that exists in the meat space, and then there's the digital you that exists in the net. And based on some of the shit I've read, like, if you die on the net, there is a chance that can kill your body in real life, but most of the time it usually just, like, force logs you out. It's got a lot of weird shit that I don't fully understand, so I'm not really gonna explain it too much. But yeah, I am excited because I've also been, like, working out Edge's backstory in Cyberpunk, and there is a version of Vermillion that exists in his backstory. And it's basically like, something happened to her, he doesn't fully know. They grew up, like, brother and sister. Oh, Mox is tired as hell, gonna be a fun night, oh no. You got plenty of samurai cola. Anyway, fucking, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So, there's a version of Vermillion in Edge's backstory where it's like, when both of them, like, they're the same age-ish, like, difference of, like, a few months or whatever, but they're born the same year, basically. When they were about, like, 4 or 5, Edge's mom, Edge's father is a policeman, and his mother is, like, a nurse or a doctor or whatever. When Edge and Vermillion were, like, 4 or 5 is when they first met each other. Something horrible and tragic happened to Vermillion's family. Edge doesn't fully know what it was, but all anyone could find was she was alive, and she was just non-stop just crying, just, like, bawling her eyes out, basically. Edge's father didn't really know what to do, and they're an archaeological family, which just means there's a bunch of, like, different families that live in, like, one building, like a self-sustaining building. And Edge walked over to Vermillion and tried to comfort her by giving her, like, a coat or a scarf or something or whatever. Like, some article of clothing. Kind of a similar situation with, like, Eren and Mikasa in Attack on Titan. And when he gave her that, she stopped crying and just sort of latched onto him in a hug and, like, pretty much wouldn't let go for a while. And Edge's family decided to take her in because they're good people. They're nice. They're nice people. They grow up together around 10 or 11, like getting closer to puberty age. Edge starts realizing that something is wrong with Vermillion because she has like routine nightmares and night terrors and such, and during one of these nightmares he tries to wake her up, try and stop her from having the nightmare. And when she wakes up, she doesn't, like, sit up or anything. She just opens her eyes and looks at him. And he would describe her as being the most terrified he's ever seen her look in his life. And she just lunges for him, like, grabbing at his neck and trying to choke him to death. And, like, slamming his head into the ground or the wall or whatever. And eventually snaps out of it. Trying to apologize profusely. Edge didn't blame her and pretty much forgave her immediately, thinking it was her fault at all, thinking she might have just still been in a nightmare sort of state of mind. And something throughout their whole childhood that Mox and I worked out based on the Soul Eater songs that are still in Edge's playlist, because, of course, I like them. Something they kind of had between each other is, like, making origami paper moons and, like, giving them to each other and stuff, and I thought that was really cute, and I really liked that idea. And basically making the moon, like a crescent moon, a symbol between the two of them, and I really like that. I think it's a real nice, cute idea. And when Edge is, like, 15 or 16 or so, he and Vermillion get into a fight, though it's not necessarily a fight so much, because Edge gets knocked out, like, almost immediately, and when he wakes up, he's on, like, I'd like to think he was on the roof of the archaeological building that they lived in, where, he wasn't necessarily hurt too bad, and there was a black origami paper moon left on his chest. It's basically just the last thing he got from Vermillion before she's just gone. She's missing, and he and his family try and look for her, doing searches and such, and eventually his dad just sort of stops searching for her and, like, kind of gives up on it. And Ed isn't willing to give up because he cares too much about her. And with his dad sort of, like, pressuring him to stop and, like, give it up, basically, it just fuels him even more. And he starts investigating into this shit, and, in the cyberpunk system, every year after 16, a life event happens where you just basically, like, roll dice and figure it out. Like, it's got a little step-by-step process. Edge is only 19, so he's only had 3 life events, but they should culminate pretty solidly and weirdly cohesively as well. So the first one, from when he is 17, he got lucky. He made a friend on the police force, which gives him +2 streetwise on police-related situations. which is ironic because this character is not his dad. It's some other cop who he got to know because he's looking into some of the corruption in the police force and such. Like, this is sort of the running theory of, like, why his dad wasn't helping him with the search is because his dad knew something or was told something or probably even warned of something and had to drop it. The next year, when Edge is 18, and I believe it's, like, when Edge is 17 is probably when he actually, like, leaves his family and leaves the archaeological building, because he's very intent on bringing Vermillion home, and he's pretty much, like, promised to his parents that he's going to bring her home no matter what. But yeah, at age 18, disaster strikes. You're hunted by the law, only a couple of local cops want you. So, what me and Mox have worked out with that is that Edge basically was just looking into corrupted police and such, and like basically with the help of this cop buddy, found some, got them arrested and like put to justice basically. And some of the other corrupted cops really don't like that. They don't like being threatened like that. They ain't fucking with that. So some of them are after Edge's ass. And then the next year, age 19, the current year that he is, he makes an enemy. Female, a government official, caused a physical disability. He wants to backstab them indirectly. And what she can throw at him is herself and a few friends. So she can't exactly send, like, legal repercussions after his ass, but she did take his eye. And whoever this enemy is as a player, I'm pretty sure, has some involvement with the Vermillion thing. Because that's unrelated to any of the shit I rolled up. That was just ideas I had personally for this character, for my personal investment. But yeah, and then the thing with the Vermillion in this is that she has basically gone cyber-psychotic, which that happens when your humanity reaches 0 from, like, too many cybernetics being built into you. And... or, you know, something similar. And she's basically just a crazy fucking monster, essentially, in the Cyberpunk campaign. And she wants to... anytime she and Edge encounter each other, she tries to kill Edge. And Edge usually just tries to run away. He doesn't want to hurt her or fight her. Though, there have been a couple of times where he's had to run into her and had to fight back, and has killed her. And then she comes back. And it's not... like, the Mox is described... and Mox is my DM, by the way, I'm not sure if I made that clear. Mox has described it where it's, unsure if it's even necessarily the same body of hers or if it's a clone. Unsure on if her original body is already dead or not. Hard to say. But she keeps coming back, and she does still have she has memories of their previous fights and encounters, and there's also, like, a possibility that she may even still be aware of what's going on, but she has no control over it. It's basically just a very tragic character, and Edge just wants to find a way to save her, and that's his big personal role in the campaign. Anyway, I've been talking for longer than enough. I think I might just call the stream instead of take a break and come back. Because I still need to look into stuff for, like, campaign things for Edge and such, and we will be playing in, like, a couple hours. So I'm just gonna go ahead and call the stream. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for everyone that's watching. Thank you. Thank you for just being you. You know what? Thank you for being you. Thank you for listening to my fucking absent-minded rambles about characters. I love talking about my D&D characters. I will never stop. Yeah, just, I hope everyone has a good day. I hope I hope whatever you're dealing with goes alright. Remember to wash your hands, drink water, and be nice to people. Goodbye.